This is Morten from Inkish. Today I have the pleasure of being in St. Gallen in Switzerland, and we're visiting a company called Steinemann DPE. And if you're not familiar with Steinemann DPE, it's a subsidiary of Kurz, which you of course know because of all the fantastic thing they do on embellishment side. And I have the pleasure here to talk to the CEO, or as he also referred to himself as the CTO, Patrik. Patrik, good to see you.
Good to see you, Morten.
So, fantastic. We're here at your R&D facility. This is the heart of Steinemann, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. How is it, I mean, if you look at all the machines, how is it to be so involved in developing technology like this?
So every day is a new challenge and very interesting work here.
And as a CTO, I mean, of course, you need to make sure that the technology works the way it should do and things like that. But I guess it's also about finding smarter ways to do things, right?
Yeah, we have always a look in future. We have to talk to customers and get new ideas from there. And then we try to make it happen.
When I met you just a couple of hours ago or an hour ago, something like that, I said foiling and you said, no, it's metallization. I mean, I think that a lot of people in the industry think of foiling as a metallization. Why is metallization maybe a better word?
The foil is just a carrier to bring the metallization on the sheet. So at the end, it's just a few nanometers of aluminium foil is on the sheet and stays there. Yeah.
So we have been saying it totally wrong for hundreds of years, right?
Yeah, probably yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. A company like Kurz that now owns Steinemann DPE has worked with foiling for a long time, of course, and is maybe the world leader when it comes to all the different types of foiling that you can do, or metallization you can do today. Steinemann DPE, you focuses on the digital embellishment, right? So what is the biggest challenge if you compare analog to digital?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
That's okay.
The main difference is that it's a touchless system. Mm-hmm. So we bring the ink, the very thin ink, to the substrate. And then we have to cure it very fast. That doesn't penetrate into the substrate. And with the analog technology, you have a tool where it gives you exactly the shape you want to have and touches the substrate, and you get perfectly edges to remove the foil carrier. And in digital world, you have the ink on the substrate, and then you have to make a lot of compromises in the foil or in the foil formulation of the foil to get very sharp edges and good transfer of the metallization to the adhesive.
Okay, so to understand this, basically that means that when you have a machine and everybody wants this to be as fast as possible, if it was slow, it was probably easier. When it is fast, it has its challenges. So if I understand you correctly, we're going to talk about the coding side as well, or the coding side in a moment. But when we look at the metallization right now, you have a paper that passes through some adhesive. And that adhesive is basically an image that comes from a digital source, like a PDF file. Yeah. And that has to cure so fast that it has that the edge is as sharp as possible. And then when it passes through the foiling unit, where the foil adheres to the glue and the carrier is removed, it needs to have the sharp edges. Is that correctly understood?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, I can imagine, because I mean, now we have we're going to talk about at least two machines that you have here. One is the MaxLiner 3D that you have here, and then we have the MaxLiner 2D here. They operate a little bit different, right?
That's correct, yeah. The 2D system operates in a different way. So we print the image on the backside of the foil, then pin it. So we have always the same situation on the foil side. It makes it easier. And then we transfer this to the substrate and release the carrier. And we have a very nice and flat metallization. It's very comparable to hot or foil, or cold foil stamping.
Yeah, because I mean, you showed a sample just before. It looks fabulous, right? Honestly. But with the 3D, you have something a little bit different, right? So how is the process there?
The process there is, there we print the glue and adhesive. and
On the substrate, right?
on the substrate.
Yeah.
Then we cure it 100%, and we reactivate it in the foiling unit. And then, while we heat it up, it gets merged with the backside of the foil, and then a chemical reaction takes place, and we remove the carrier, and just the metallization stays there.
I mean, when you talk about it, first of all, I don't think it sounds easy, but it sounds amazing that you can do this, because if you look at a machine like, for example, this one, which is it's a quite huge machine, right?
Yeah.
How fast is a machine like this?
With foiling, or with metallization, we go up to 50 meters per minute, and just varnishing up to 80 meters per minute.
And we talk about this one is both in B1 and B2 format, right?
That's correct, yeah. And both in landscape format. So we have about 30% more output than with a portrait mode.
One thing that you told me before we started the interview was also that one of the challenges that you have been working on for some time is actually to make sure that you can do the metallization on even thinner substrate. So you go down to 120 GSM, or?
That's correct, yeah.
I mean, what is the challenge? I mean, because now we're talking about thin on thin, right?
That's correct, yeah. So the main challenge is to run this very thin paper on a vacuum transport. And the second challenge is that to remove the foil carrier from the sheet, and the sheet doesn't go up with the foil.
Yeah, that would not be so nice.
Yeah,
right?
so we have to separate it. And of course, big areas of foiled areas is a big challenge here.
And you said that the paper is, or the substrate is transported using a vacuum belt, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and when you have that one, you also need to control the suction on the vacuum in order to not destroy the substrate, I guess, right?
Correct, yeah. So we adjusted the vacuum here.
Yeah. So that was let's say the metallization part. I mean, I know it's a brief, but that is more or less what you do with the metallization part. One of the things we should talk about is also that when you talk about metallization, right now I can see behind you that you have like one big roll of foil in the machine, but you can also apply different colors and different sizes of foils across the width, right?
Yes, correct. We can go up to 7 different foil rolls. The minimum width is 100 millimeters. So then you can choose different colors or safe foil as well, yeah.
And that is also, I mean, when I look at, let's say, analog processes, that is typical how you do that, because you only want to use the metallization for as wide as you basically need it, right? Yeah. Fantastic. So this kind of machine, of course, you have been in the market for some years, but it's still something that is constantly under development, I guess, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And the new version of the Max Liner 3D, is that, I mean, you're going to show it here at drupa, but is that a new iteration, or is it a new type of machine, or?
It's a continuous development, but compared to 2016, at that time we didn't have the metallization unit, so it's new at drupa, not new for the customers. And we developed the foil in several iteration steps, so it's...
And being owned by Kurz is not so bad here, right? Because you can develop both the technology and the foils and the metallization as part of the development process.
Correct, right? Yeah. So this team from Kurz is here almost every second month to test new materials. Yeah.
Then you have the green section here in the beginning of the machine. That is the varnishing unit. And basically, on one of the things you told me is that there is like 2 units in it that can be used for either glue or for varnish. So either you have like varnish and glue, and then you have like one single pass of both varnish and metallization. Or if you don't need the metallization, you can use both systems for double the speed of varnish. Is that correct? Or?
That's correct.
Okay. And what is the challenge having varnishes in digital format?
Varnish.
Varnish. I mean, I was just thinking, what is the challenge? Because I mean, we spoke the challenge of having the thin paper on the foil. I was just thinking, is there any big challenges, or is it just print heads that are printing on some substrates, or?
Yeah, it's more or less the same as with the metallization. Okay. The varnish is just, it has to be very clear, so not yellowing. Yeah. That's the main challenge. But other than that, it's the same printing system as for the glue.
this is like one of the machines, and we're going to make a walkthrough of the machine in a second as well. The other machine that is just next to it, which you said as a MaxLiner 2D, this is the first time you show a MaxLiner in a smaller format with a 2D thing, because we've seen it from the roll-to-roll solution. You explained how it is putting the adhesive on the backside of the foil of the carrier, basically, right? But what is the challenge from a machine like this? Is it speed, or is it quality, or what is the biggest issue with this technology?
The biggest difficulty is the register accuracy, because you print above here on the backside of the foil, and you have to merge the sheet and the printed foil together at exactly the right position.
But you have achieved it?
Yes, sure.
Or is it just ready for drupa?
No.
No, you have achieved it. Okay. We're going to see it in not so long time from now, but it's amazing because as we spoke about before, when you see the output, it really looks like an analog process, basically, right?
It's very similar.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite? I mean, it's difficult to choose between your two kids here. Can you choose which one you like the most?
No.
No, you cannot. Okay. So at drupa, what can people expect? I mean, you show these two machines, I guess, right? But
yes.
What will there be a lot of nice samples and a lot of maybe even together with partners, or how will you convince people about the technology?
Yeah, we have a full set of new samples, and we show also on uncoated paper both system, but the system with the 2D has even more possibility on the substrate range. We will show all this. We also show automatic job change, so we change the job in the stack while printing. And what else? We will show a very beautiful poster with all the possible embellishment solutions we have at Kurz.
And I guess that, I know that you told me that you're not in sales, of course, right? Yeah. But I guess that some of the people from your sales organization, they will also convince why this is from an economy and financial perspective a very good investment, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Patrik.
Thank you, Morten.
Okay.
Thank you.